As you listen now, you may begin to sense the quiet unfolding that has been happening inside you through parts 1 and 2. Awareness awakened you. The cause state empowered you. And now, we move inward again, into the architecture beneath your life, the inner blueprint that shapes your experiences before you ever live them. People think beliefs are thoughts. However, beliefs are more than just ideas. They are the quiet architects that design your world without ever announcing their presence. Some of these beliefs support you. Some restrict you. Some were chosen consciously, and many were inherited earlier than you could ever consciously recall. Today, you will begin to see the architecture behind what runs your life. Imagine your mind as a vast, quiet space, deep, dimly lit, where lines, shapes, and structures hover just beyond clarity. This is the blueprint room, a place inside you where beliefs draw the outlines of possibility, safety, identity, and direction. Most people never enter this room, yet here it is, shaping everything. Every decision you make, every expectation you carry, every limit you feel, everything you receive, everything you push away, is traced back to a line drawn in this inner architecture. You do not force yourself into this space. You simply allow yourself to notice it. And as you notice it, the room becomes clearer, allowing you access to all the tools you need. Just like a young apprentice who studied under a master carpenter, a master known for crafting the strongest frames and the most beautiful structures. For years, the apprentice believed the strength of the building came from the wood the master used. So one day, the master handed him 2 identical planks. The apprentice built a frame with one, and the master used the other. The master's frame was sturdy, true, dependable. The apprentice's frame felt unstable, almost as if something inside it leaned in the wrong direction. The apprentice looked at the wood and said, "How did you make yours stronger from the same material?" The master smiled and said, "The strength of a structure never comes from the wood. It comes from the lines you draw before you begin." Most people think life's limitations are in the materials, the resources, the circumstances. Truth is, the blueprint creates more limits than the world ever will. You see, beliefs are not sentences. They're sensations, patterns, echoes of old moments, emotional conclusions drawn long before your adult mind learned the meaning of its own voice. A belief might sound simple. I am capable. I am not enough. I deserve good things. I should stay small. But the real belief is the feeling beneath those words. So while you continue to listen, you may begin to notice certain beliefs inside yourself, not as thoughts, but as atmospheres, a warmth, a tension, a heaviness, a lightness, a contraction, an opening. Beliefs speak through the body long before the mind names them. And as you feel into yourself now, you might begin to sense the subtle gravity of an old belief that once guided you without permission. Just noticing its presence begins to loosen its influence, because there is a moment, quiet, often missed, where a belief comes into view. That moment is not the rewriting of the belief. That moment is the beginning of freedom. Because once you see the architect, you are no longer living inside a house you didn't design. Awareness opens a door, and what comes next is simpler than most people imagine. You might assume belief change requires force, but in truth, belief change requires space. And space appears the moment you see the belief instead of being shaped by it. Now, imagine re-entering your inner blueprint room. You walk slowly, quietly, respectfully. As you move, a certain structure may catch your attention. A beam, a wall, a line. One that represents an old belief. You don't need to name it. Your unconscious recognizes it by the way your attention rests on it. This structure once determined your choices, your expectations, and the parts of yourself you allowed to exist. In this room, you don't fight it. You don't challenge it. You don't argue with it. You simply observe it. And the moment you see it clearly, the structure begins to soften. Not collapse, not disappear, just soften. As if it no longer needs to hold the shape it once held. Beliefs dissolve the moment they are seen through new eyes. Now, with the old structure softening, you may notice something else. A new line, a new shape, a new possibility beginning to form in its place. You don't force it. You don't decide it. You simply allow it. The new line emerges from the person you are becoming, not the person you were. And this belief feels different, lighter, clearer, more aligned. It resonates instead of restricts. It expands instead of shrinks. You may not even know the words for it yet, and that's perfectly fine. New architecture forms long before language appears. So as this session comes to a gentle close, feel the shift inside you, the blueprint more visible, an old structure softened, a new line emerging. You have not finished anything today. You simply began something extraordinary. So in the coming days, you may notice new thoughts that feel like invitations, old limits dissolving quietly, unexpected confidence, subtle expansions in identity, the beginnings of I can, where I never did once lived. The blueprint of your life is not fixed. You are not living inside a structure built by fate. You are the architect. And now that the room is illuminated, you may begin to design the life that matches who you truly are. So prepare yourself for part 4, where emotional energy, boundaries, and internal power give shape to this new foundation. For now, take one easy breath and let your new inner architecture settle quietly into place.